What is up, y'all? Welcome back out to the bench in the backyard. My name is Jordan, and this is a Procumbens Nana Juniper that I got last year. And today it is getting a new pot. So it'll be going down into this. Don't have to shrink the root mass too much. Most of this up at the top is probably going to be dead as far as the roots go. Just because the live vein actually comes down only from here to here. So we've got this root right here that's alive, but most of this side of the tree, the roots are, at least up top, are going to be dead. There might be some roots down here that circle over onto this side. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today. So we just need to pull it up out. See, yeah, we've got some good, nice roots over here. So we're going to go ahead, grab our chopstick. And as we chase out roots that came from this other side of the tree that have died off in the bottom, we'll just come in and cut them off. And as we get further up into the root mass, we'll be able to actually chase that root back further in. We want to get as many of those out of this as we can. Not because the root rot will spread. I mean, it will, but not because it's a pathogen that's done it. It's just done it because the top of the tree died that root was feeding, which means the foliage wasn't up here to send nutrients back and keep that root alive. So it's a dead root, and that's just organic matter that's going to be down in the pot, and it will create little pockets of loose organic matter as it breaks down. So we don't want that, because then that will stay too wet, and any roots that are in that area will then rot out. You see, we've got this big one over here that is dead. And so we're going to get as much of it out as we can. And we'll just keep chasing it back as we go. And now all I'm doing is roughing up the bottom, trying to get some of these roots, the tips of the roots, out into what will be the new soil. That way they'll be like, oh my goodness, look, this is like perfect soil out here. I'm going to grow over there. I think that's what we're going to do with it. We want to bring this trunk up a little bit and tilt it towards the viewer. So about like that. So now we need to prep our pot. And so there we go. Our pot's all set up. We got a nice little tight triangle down there. We're not crossing our drain screen wire. And we have each of these wires paired. So I'll pull them out and then just touch the tips together. That way I know where they're going. Then we need to get our soil ready. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put in an aeration layer, just 1 particle size deep. And so our aeration layer is just our normal bonsai mix, but I've pulled out everything that's larger than 3/8 of an inch and just use that down at the bottom. Then we just sift out the fines. We're going to put a layer of this all the way around the bottom. And then in the middle, we're going to build up a cone. Then we take our tree. And all I'm doing is making sure we don't have any roots trapped before I come in. So we're keeping the hard side of our little chopstick, pushing into the center. Then we're going to come in here and just give us a little place to tie down. So if you can see, we got this chopstick shoved into the middle. We'll just come in. I haven't tightened it down yet. I'm just getting this out of the way. Then we're going to do the same thing over here on this side. So I've got my little short tie-in chopstick. And again, we'll come out here to the edge of the pot. And the last one, again, we'll just come down here to the tip. Oh, because it is a smaller tree, we don't need a really big thick one. I do have a tree over there that's getting repotted sometime in the next few days. You'll see it either next or the video after that. That I'm going to need things that are actually that size because I'm going to have to crank down on it to get it tied into that pot. So yeah, that's that. And so now we're just going to have to come in here, pull out slack, and twist. So what I'm doing is I'm grabbing by the twist, pulling up as hard as I can, and then tightening it down. And we can also come in here, press down on that chopstick a little bit, pull out and twist. And now you see right here, that chopstick is down below the soil level. So we know we're not going to be seeing that. We can come in, clip off this twisted wire, leaving 2 or 3 twists down at the bottom just so it stays locked in. And we push that down, and that side is locked in. We'll go and do the same thing with all the other ones. We'll press down on the chopstick, pull up, and twist. Our chopstick's down there below the soil line. Come in, clip off, leaving a couple of twists, and push that down into the soil system. And same thing over here on the other side, on this last side. We'll push down, twist. Sorry, I had to push that chopstick in just a little bit so that when we push down, and we push that down. So if you look in here, right here, the chopstick is actually up against the pot. This chopstick is also against the pot, and that chopstick is also against the pot. So they're all 3 locked in. I mean, there is no getting... Oh, spoke a little soon. This first one that we did came a little loose, so it's not exactly up against the pot, but we can fix that. All right, so there we go. Now we need to get soil down in here and chopstick it in. So we'll just come in, soil all the way around, push it in with our fingers. Some of these are easier to get to than others. And then we'll just come in here, chopstick straight down between the roots and the wall of the pot. And when we're doing this, we're just making sure that there is soil all the way up against the side of the pot. And you want to make sure as you're coming around, if you're using the chopstick method to tie into the pot, that you come in on either side of the chopstick and make sure we get soil up under it so we don't have any air pockets. In this first pass, all we're worried about is getting around the outside of the pot. We'll come back in and chopstick everything else. We just want to make sure that we're going straight up against the side of the pot and getting soil all the way down to the bottom. I've got a spot right here that's got a little hole that we're having to fill. We're getting soil down everywhere. Got another hole right here. And we're just going to come in here. We're going to do 2 different layers of top dressing. So the first one we're going to be doing is just locking in the outside of the surface. And then the second, we're going to come in and we're actually going to kind of fill in this area. And I'll show you how we do that in just a second. We want to make sure that we have a little bit of space between the soil and the top of the pot. That way the water doesn't just run straight off and we don't have to either A, waste a bunch of water trying to soak this root ball, or B, it doesn't just pour off the sides and we don't notice and kill our tree off because the middle of that root ball just doesn't get any water. And so this layer for right now, all we really care about is right out here at the edge. We'll come back and top dress the top part again, but we're just locking this outside edge. And so we have everything out to the edge. And now I've pulled out everything except the 1/16 of an inch and bit, between 1/16 and an 1/8. And we're gonna come around here and just sprinkle down on top of that top dressing layer. And by doing this, we're just gonna lock in this top layer of soil and just always keep your water, if you have your water bottle out, make sure it's full. Now we're gonna come in and just spray down this this outside edge so that we can press that soil down into the sphagnum, sphagnum and green moss that we just put on. Now I've got just some regular sphagnum moss that hadn't been sifted. Wet it and squeeze out the excess. Now we're going to put a layer of sphagnum right around this root ball. We don't want to press it in right yet. We just want to be able to get here up against some of these root tips, just so they have. And what we're doing here is just giving our soil something to cling on to so it doesn't wash off the outside edge. And with this, I've also sifted out the everything over 3/8 of an inch. And we just chopstick into the sphagnum. And we'll do the same thing over on this side, if I can get to it. Now we're going to come back around with our normal top dressing mix right on top. And then we come back in with our 1/16 of an inch. Wet it down. And then just come in, clean up our rim a little bit. And so that's the new front of our tree. We're coming out a little bit with this. Then we're going to eventually start working on on our structure. We'll let this recover though. Didn't take a whole lot of roots off of it. Maybe like 10, 15, maybe 20%. So it should recover fairly easily. Most of what I cut off was all dead. We should be good. I may have to come back and top dress it again, but that's fine. Just one last spin around and press in right there at the lip of the pot. So we had a little bit of an empty space right here and also back here, but we were able to fill that in fairly well. So now we've got just this nice little root mass up above it's basically sitting up on a hill in the pot. And that is what we're going to do for the day. Took about an hour, a little over. It says an hour and 15 minutes. But a lot of that is me forgetting stuff inside or not filling up my water bottle. So all in all, it took about an hour. Just moving stuff around and setting up. If I hadn't had to film, probably would have taken me right at an hour. Probably cut 15 minutes off of it fairly easily. But I really love this pot. It's kind of rough. It's got a lot of grit in the clay. I'm not sure who made it. It's unmarked, but I'm pretty sure it's Tokoname. It's just an unmarked. But it's just really good with this tree. I like the if you liked what you saw today, go ahead, like, subscribe, all of that fun stuff down below. If not, leave a comment. Let me know what I'm doing wrong. Let me know how I could make it better, either the video or my trees. And yeah, I can't get any better at this if I don't know what I'm doing wrong. So please help me out. So until the next time I see y'all out at the bench in the backyard, just remember to grow them big, but keep them small.